This is day 1048 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you like to sponsor our coming Shemar, the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please come directly. Be very greatly appreciated. Today we are doing Siman Bior Deya, Siman Pei Zayin, Sif Mem Gimel, to Siman Pei Ches, Sif Ches. Wow. Okay, sounds like a lot. Mem Gimel. Orkosab Sif Yud. The Ora cable of Fami Mochem also. Sometimes the hide of the keva is salted, yabshis and dry, and asakates, and it's made like wood. It's hard like wood. Malim also cholav, and they fill it full of milk, make cheese, obviously. Mutter to miss with the achar she's yabish, since it's dried, have a case mamas, just like wood. But aimbo lachuchis basar has no moisture of meat. Akal shon woodin sharb neimyaim. About other intestines. Sheyabishim osom asakates. If you dry them until they are like wood, then they are like wood. And basar yavish gates oser. That's only hide, he says, not meat. That's the Pri Megadim. V'yesh thing gam basar yavish gates. That's the piece of shuv name Nadi Yehuda and the Chacham Tzvi evidently. It says no, the tough tzaddik, whoever that is, the Tiferetzi. Sorry, Tiferetzi. V'afi l'chacham ashim oson, and even if you didn't cook it, or shoy mayim, or you soak it, water, meses for 24 hours, mutter. Because it's ready to become like wood. But say they ora keva she's yabish out of shadakla for imos varim kayadua. So by us to make the cheese with the hide of the intestines, which has become dried until it's like a powder, and we use other substances as well. Rennet, non-vegetarian, it's vegetarian rennet in our day and age, but non-vegetarian rennet, the classic rennet, is tasteless, odorless. It's just a powder like a sand, and that would be certainly permissible. And the whole Isser Venus Akum is really a special Gzeira, not necessarily because the rennet is not good. You can use rennet, which is comes from an animal. But there's a special Gzeira of Venus Akum, which is distinct from this halacha of the rennet itself. Siman Peches, Shlolos Basar Bin al Shulchan Echad, not to put the meat and cheese on the same table. Aleph, Shanu Chachamim Mishnah, Chachamim taught us in a Mishnah. Kol Basar also Levasha, Mishnah Kol Basar, in the Mishnah Perak Kol Basar. Kol also Levasha, but Chachamim to cook. No, the other way around. Sorry, I was right. It says in the brackets Perak Ches, which is Perak Kol Basar. But it's Shanu Chachamim Mishnah, colon, Kol Basar also Levasha, but Chachamim not allowed to cook any milk in any meat in milk, except for the meat of fish and locusts. Also, not allowed to put it with cheese on the table, except for the same meat of fish and locusts. Even chicken meat, you're not allowed to put on the table with cheese. The Pir Gemara explains that after the basar of chol, even the meat of chicken in milk is the rabbanon, because you're not atu basar behema, because there unless you come to the same thing with animal flesh. But even though if it's cold, it's mutzah midaraisa. We're concerned maybe you're going to put it together in a hot pot. Even though you could say this, even though it's a gzera, obviously, nevertheless, this is the appropriate place to make such a gzera. By the time the reason why they're more severe with basar more than any other prohibition. After all, you're allowed to eat on the table, which there are other unkosher substances. Each substance in itself is mutter. Therefore, people don't separate themselves from it. That's why they're concerned. So too, if somebody is forsworn from deriving benefit from his friend, also now allowed to eat it with one from one plate, because you might take from his portion. That's also similar. The thing is not usher of itself, and mitzvah nidro, but only because of his nether. They're concerned they might come to eat from it. The came and that which on one table they are allowed to eat, even though they're as long as it's not from the same plate, they're allowed to eat on the same table, which is not mutter by basel chal. How many times the kim shon men hana? It's because since they one forswore benefit from the other or of the other, we assume they hate each other. We're not concerned on one table as long as it's on the same plate. Because also here the prohibition is only if they know each other, as we shall see. In other words, also here by Basel Chol, the issue is specifically if they are acquaintances. But says just by Arukh HaShulchan 12 man the Pesach Sheba Akum Imchem to also Losa Shulchan. That which you learned on Pesach, and when a non-Jew comes to this chum, it's not allowed to you're not allowed to have him put on the table when the Jew is eating. Aval Chametz Pesach Yisur, because even though it's Chametz on Pesach is Kares. You come on, nevertheless came Lo B'Dili Minei Kulishata again, since we don't separate ourselves in the entire year. May people live by bread. Chashul is not concerned. But all other prohibitions, Rabbanim are not concerned with. But according to this, it would be awesome to put prohibited bread, like let's say milchik bread or fresh bread, which is also to eat on the table at the time that you're eating, because you might come to slip up and eat from that bread. Gimel Vada, you should know the Lashon Rambam's out Perek Testin Chav Tamur Ktsas. Rambam seems to be difficult. Being in this marriage. Because he writes, also Losas Ofer Yimagvin al Shulchan. Now to put a chicken with cheese on the table, Shocha where he's eating, a love upon it, Gzeira Bishum Hergel Avera. It's exactly because you might come to get accustomed to an Avera. Shem Yochal Zem maybe one with the other. Habi Shal B'chal also Midra Divi. So even though chicken with milk is only also Midra Bana, Kan Lashana. Kain's a Kosva to B'Shulchan Aruch, Ayin Sham. To Shulchan Aruch follow the pattern of the Rambam. Rabbi Gemara with the Chashashim Basar Behema. In the Gemara it says that the issue is not because that you were going to eat them with each other, but rather because you might come to actually take meat from an animal and put it into a boiling hot pot. He says bracket says Lechem Mishnah in a moving kimat Ayin Sham. It's almost, he says, it's almost impossible to understand what Lechem Mishnah answers. It says maybe the poskim are taking a shortcut here. Came the din nafkin was this is the din is no nafkin what exactly the issue is. It's all also no matter what. Maybe that's also what they mean. What they mean to say. Maybe they'll go to eat one with the other. And from this, next thing you know, you can also meat and cheese, which were brought together in a hot pot. Next it says, "They'll come on a satas. You can have kids and dvar v'chinam. Give me a bowl. A prima garden ayin shamaduk." As the taz means, and the prima garden is difficult. The prima garden, but the taz says Arukh HaShulchan is not difficult. Tad amnam anios daiti near anios daiti. Tavagal ishmin Rabbi saying was Arukh HaShulchan says yes, but I think there's a bigger point here. Nachmina dina. It's also a ramification of halacha. Kasher is bar b'sef tishmai, as we shall see. They been Mishnah we showing a kol basar. The first pair of Mishnah pair kol basar. We learned the kol min basar asal halos imagvin al shulchan. So we open with this simon. Any type of meat you're not allowed to put with cheese on the table. It was that people about Gemara. Gemara has a discussion of this, which goes down as he wrote. There's another Mishnah later on. You can put chicken on the table with cheese, and don't eat them together. So you can't put it on the table together. And you can't eat them together. What is the Mishnah saying more than the first Mishnah says? So it's the place that says, well, the second Mishnah is going to tell us that this is Machlokes B'Sham Beis Hillel. First Mishnah Machlokes B'Sham Beis Hillel, but it doesn't matter because B'Sham Mokum Beis Hillel in a Mishnah. We don't take into account B'Sham is meaning in the wake, even though he's more makel here, relative to Beis Hillel. And that's why, even though the first Mishnah is generic and the second Mishnah is a Machlokes, and we normally say stam machlokes ein halachos tam ayin sham. Here it doesn't apply because beishamai mokum beisil ein a mishnah. Really, the Rambam ain't a farishkein. Says Arukh HaShulchan, I don't think the Rambam holds away. You can't have the Shas farishkein. The Shas should have said this. The Shas tells us this explicitly. No, there's a different chiddush in the second Mishnah. Hey, the Mishnah Rishona, the first Mishnah, Shekolah Kamine Bosa B'Yachar, which includes all sorts of meat together. Shapi Pirush Shas, the Shas is saying good, so to speak. The gazu shaloy avoid the isur the raisa made the kriya shouldn't come to isur the raisa. V'lo zed loy gotzin, and with not, if there was no possibility, the raisa would not have made a gzera. Our Mishnah to a second Mishnah, Bo Beisil Amar Beisil comes say the Gamba opio vat, even by chicken alone. Also, they forbade it. V'lo mitam bosa behema, and not because you might come to take animal meat. V'shal ilbas and put it into a pot together. Shechom yichigu zeh minei hergel avera. New concept. They forbade it because of hergel avera. Avsh isur kal rabbanon, even though it's like the rabbanon isur, the neshu tova tzmidi because it's a constant issue. V'motzri, and it's prevalent. Hirchiku me hergel avera. They distance us from getting used to do an avera modality. After Darvakal, even in a light thing. This is a Ralch ramification. Even a cooked dish of meat. In other words, there's no meat inside it. It just was cooked fleshik. Also, now put together with a cooked milchik dish. Bilvad, even if they're not, there's no actual meat or milk present, but it's fleshik and milchik. This is Sholoshon Akbasa Mamish. First Mishnah only tells us that actual meat, Vina Mamish, and actual cheese. Avakain the Basil Chashu Leblili Srakil Avera, since Basil said we should not become accustomed to an Avera modality. I feel Avera Kala, even a light Avera, Lachain Kol Shem Basar, Shem Cholab Basar. Any Chalesh Shem Fleshik, or Chalesh Shem Milchik is included. For only is like Lakim Lashon Mishnah. Also says Arukh HaShulchan further for the Mishnah. The first Mishnah says Kol Basar Basar all meat now that's cooked with milk. And then it says Amra, then it says Basar Losing Gvina now to put it up with the cheese on the table. Why the Tana shift gears from milk to cheese? Therefore, it seems to me the Rashi Zal Tikkun able to show our Torah. Rashi fixes with his pure language. We said Basar Los. Now I put it up. Because you might come to eat it. Ki together. Because they're going to touch and absorb from each other. Kavanas means to say the came to Gvina Dovri Yavish, since cheese is dry. Is sitting on the table below car without a plate. And the meat is also on the table. It's dry below car without a plate. Because most of what they ate was roasted. And therefore the meat was dry. Therefore they put on one table. They're likely put on a table, not on a plate or in a bowl, and they can touch each other. They'll absorb from each other. If they're hot, they might have to eat them together. Which actually could be the rice. But milk, which is a beverage, it's got to be in a bowl or a cup. There's no issue. Since there's a mess vessel which interrupts between it and the table, she's bored, the shari, and it's like two different tablecloths, which we shall see is permitted. And the bracket says here, Lamar, it seems to me to see even more to say. They're going to observe each other love dafka. It's not specific. It also means not when they're hot dafka, not say they're hot or even they're fatty. Means they can absorb a bit from each other. Might even want to answer if it's not a time eating because of the absorption issue. Not clear, says Arukh HaShulchan. We said in King Gam, this is where you come comes out of Kula. That the whole issue is really specifically when you have dry food on the table directly, not in vessels. When vessels, by definition, be like being on different tablecloths. Very b'kusikim and kula. Zayin says shasu chachamim la'alosim ha'shulchan. That chachamim say now put it on one table. Said tav shulchan she'ochlim alav. It's a table which you're eating. Shulchan should still have alav. Said tav shilin, but a prep table. K'mo shulchan shel beis vashlos, such as the table in the kitchen. Mutli tein zeh b'tzad zeh. You can put one next to each other. Shulchan she'ochlim a table which you're eating. I didn't match him since the hands are so involved there. You might put one on top of the other. Or besides they're next to each other, mamish. A table which they're preparing the food, like a chashash, there's no concern. Mamish, they're not, we're still not going to be literally next to each other. That's certainly not one on top of each other. Ches, also allows on a shulchan echad that you can't put on one table. So dafka b'shnei the other, specifically two people makim zeh who are acquainted with each other. She'enam is baishim zeh, not embarrassing each other. Each will eat from his friend's plate. I feel like makbidim zelza. Well, eat from their friend's portion. But I feel like makbidim zelza, even though normally they don't eat from each other's portions. Nevertheless, there's a concern. Some say the tafka ba'achim makbidim ze al ze osru. Some say only brothers, even though they're makbid on each other, we aser. Some say machim. Everyone else is their brothers. The other people who don't partake of each other's food, it's permissible. That's the Yam Shlomo. The Shach and the Taz take on the first opinion that it doesn't matter. Anybody, even people makbid on each other, as long as they are friends, they can't eat together on the table. Unless they were modern as you saw previously in the Simon as mutar, then it's permissible. Or if they're sitting so distant from each other, to the point that if one extends his hand, it won't reach the food which the second one's eating. Because gan came mutar, and it's also ochel levado osur. Also, when you're eating by yourself, it's osur because to have both things on the table, because then you're certainly not making yourself, and it might come to stretch your hand and take from the other substance.